So for this, we have to back up a little bit and go back to right a couple of months before 9/11 and on information gathered by the FBI from Turkish counterintelligence involving Turkish diplomatic high-level individuals, targets. There were a lot of conversations before 9/11, 2, 3 months before 9/11, between high-level State Department and Pentagon officials and Turkish government. And that included Turkish government officials in the United States, whether, military attaché, etc. And the individuals who were discussing these conversations, this dialogue, this intense communication during this period from the US side, they were all very, very big names. You're looking at Scowcroft, you are looking at Richard Pearl, you're looking at Paul Wolfowitz. I'm talking about daily several communications. They were discussing Iraq, and this was when United States and United Kingdom had already decided, and they were in the midst of preparation with their own plans of attacking Iraq before 9/11. They needed Turkey's backing, but without Turkey's direct involvement on the ground in Iraq. Now, as you know, when you have a situation like this and when you need someone's absolutely backing, which is easy to get when you have a butler nation like Turkey, they bow to you, they're your puppets, you own them basically. It becomes a little bit of matter of give and take. In some cases, it's very simple. The country says, yeah, but we let you, whether it's, let's say, Jordan or it's Turkey, you got to increase our loan with IMF from 2 billion to 4 billion, and we want you to increase the military aid to us to 5 billion. I'm just throwing numbers here. This is when people negotiate. It's like, bribe us, give us something, and we can say, go ahead, you can use our soil, even though we are a Muslim country, you can go and do this, all right? Now with Turkey, it went beyond just money negotiation, discussion between the Turkish targets and the high-level Pentagon and State Department officials. Turkey, they said, look, and this is the Turkish government, Turkish military, said, okay, even long time ago, Kirkuk, northern Iraq belonged to us. It was part of the Turkish Empire. And look, it's oil-rich region. That's one. Two, our biggest enemies, the ones that we have almost engaged in this continuous genocide against, are the Kurds. And whenever we have militia, basically that's the operation base for the Kurds. More than on Turkish soil, they are there. The mountainous region in northern Iraq, and man, they know the area. These people can defeat even the United States Army military there because they know, like the Afghan Mujahideens did to a certain degree. They know the mountain landscape. They know how to fight that kind of a war. And they're commandos, Kurdish commandos. So Turkey said, you are telling us, according to your plan, it's going to be mainly United Kingdom and the United States going in there. We want you to take this pie and divide it to 3 and say, the northern Iraq operation is going to be carried out through our NATO ally, Turkey. Well, that was unacceptable for the United States because they knew that it was going to be a mess, because this was going to be a plain permission for Turkey to go and bomb all the Kurds there, right? With the aerial bombing, etc. So that was one reason. Another reason, though, it's not talked about, Israel at this point, and again, these were discussed between the targets of FBI operations and the high-level officials, and Turkey already knew that there was a little role carved out for Israel in this. And you're going to say, wait a second, Iraq invasion, Israel? Yes. Israel had a deal already set up saying, well, we're not going to go and kill people. But what we want is, we have already set up the ground. We are working with these high-level Kurdish commandos, okay? Because northern Iraq is in the border, shares the border, very porous border with Iran. So what we want to do is we want to work with the Kurds and we want to establish a little base there to spy on Iran, okay, from right northern portion of Iraq, and to start causing some, bringing about operations between the Iraqi Kurds some of the Iranian Kurds against the current Iranian government. I mean, nobody talks about this, but this was actually direct conversations between high-level Turkish people and high-level US people, and Turkey already knew about this. So here is Turkey's another good friend. I mean, here is Israel providing Turkey with all this military equipment, today even with drones, to go and hunt the Kurds. On the other hand, Israel was out there working with the Kurds, okay, saying, we're going to train you militarily, we're going to give you arms. In return, you're going to carve out, this is going to be our base of operations against Iran. And this is as early as 2001, July, August, okay? So Turkey was like, no, we want this. And US is like, no, because it's going to be a mess. We're going to have a bloodshed. And that's going to be too many things to deal with. On one hand, we want to, go get rid of Saddam and take over the oil well and get Iraq. And now you're going to bring Turkish as actor because that was their demand. Then you're going to have genocide. Then it's going to be screaming internationally, human rights violations. They couldn't have had this mess. And Turkey says, you know what? Excuse my language. Screw you. You are not going to use this base. Okay? That was the reason for Turkey not allowing the United States to use the US base in Turkey, Incirlik base, for their direct attacks in Iraq. Because they said, you're not going to do it, we're not going to let you use this. Well, it made it a bit more difficult for the United States logistically to carry out their operations in Iraq, but they did it nonetheless.